like this is gonna work for the weekend. It should do just fine. Like most of the country, Minnesota's going through a little bit of a heat wave right now. Temperatures are up in the mid 90s and the dew points in the mid 70s. Doesn't make for good camping weather. Definitely doesn't make for good sleeping weather. So we decided to drive you almost 5 hours north up to Lake of the Woods. We got a campsite almost to ourselves. I'm going to show you this place tomorrow. But where we're at, I got nobody close to me. So I'm probably going to start the generator up in a little bit. At least we'll be able to sleep comfortably. Bugs are out here tonight though. So Toby and I are going to head in. I didn't feel much like talking today. It's just too hot. I'll see you in the morning. This weekend I brought you up to Lake of the Woods here in Minnesota. We're at a place called Zipple Bay State Park. This is just west of Baudette, Minnesota. We're right on the Canadian border, right on Lake of the Woods. And that's a big lake. We're talking about 65 miles wide, 85 miles long, and I'm hoping to catch some of the cooler winds that blow off the lake. It has been warm out, and today it's going to be the same. So what I think we're going to do is start off early this morning, take a walk down to the lake, check that out before the sun gets too high in the sky. It's still going to be a good weekend. Toby's still sleeping. From the campsite, we got maybe a mile walk to get to the lake. Not too far. We might get some rain coming through. This weekend we are in a state park, so that means I gotta keep Toby on a leash. Oh, there's the thunder. This place is kind of empty this weekend. It's probably just a little too warm to be out here camping for a lot of people. I can hear a generator running in the woods over here. They're probably my closest neighbor, which is close to a half mile, I'd suppose. It's gonna start dumping rain on me pretty soon, I bet. See if we can get to the lake. We made it. And this is Lake of the Woods. This is the 6th largest lake in the US, just behind the Great Lakes in size. It's about 85 miles wide, 65 miles long, has over 14,000 islands on this lake. That's crazy. You could stay at a different island every single night. It'd take you like 39 years. You can kind of see Canada over there. Lightning has been popping off behind me, which means that the storm's not too far away. We should probably go back to the camper, turn the air conditioner on for a little bit, dry out because I'm soaked right now. Just a non-stop rumble of thunder. So we're gonna double time it back to the camper. I'll let you know if it starts raining on us. Well, it was bound to happen. The rain's caught up to us. I'm kind of looking forward to breakfast. Well, you missed it. Toby and I went for a walk, found a mother load of raspberries and blueberries. Unfortunately, that walk in the rain just destroyed the wireless microphone, so you're gonna have to believe me. So instead of having you on the GoPro, I got you on a DJI camera. It's a camera that I picked up a couple of weeks ago. I'm still kind of working the bugs out of it, so it hasn't been my main camera. We'll see what it looks like. Well, let's get this fire started and we'll figure it out as we go. It's been a challenging week for me. It started off with my daily driver, a 2003 Jeep Liberty, and blew the radiator on it. I was in town and I live about 20 miles out in the country, so I parked it in a parking lot, let it sit till about 11:30 at night when it was nice and cool, and then drove home. The next day my daughter calls me up, says her 2006 Jeep Cherokee is overheating on her, so I went out and looked and the fan clutch is bad, plus the electric fans in it ain't working. And then the next day Mandi calls up and the starter went out on her vehicle. Then something happened on my way here to the truck. I pulled into the campsite and I got the truck sitting up on leveling blocks. I got them stacked like 3 high. What was happening was the truck was spinning the wheels. So I just used the gas and the brake pedal, get me up on top of the blocks. And at one point, because the wheels were spinning, the traction control system kicked in. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, brake pedal falls all the way down to the floor, completely lose power steering. I don't have brakes anymore. I don't have power steering. I really didn't try driving it much after that. We're going to see what happens tomorrow morning when I pull out of here. I'm about 4.5, maybe 5 hours from home. With no brakes, no power steering. Tomorrow could be a little bit tricky. I'm hoping it was just a fluke. I mean, I drive up on those blocks all the time and never had a problem before. The good news is Mandi's starter's fixed. I got my oldest daughter driving the snowplow truck, and we'll get this thing home tomorrow one way or another. Making sure that this fire is out before I go to bed. It has been a long day for the both of us. These high dew points, they're getting to Toby. You can see he's panting pretty hard when we go out for walks. It's just hard for him to control his body temperature. We were out here for 2.5 days. I brought 6 gallons of water for the both of us. Plenty enough to stay hydrated. Hopefully these high temperatures, they leave us soon. The mosquitoes have found me. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see you in the morning. worries me that this video is going to have a little bit of a different feel to it. I'm sure you can tell that I got things on my mind. The vehicle's being broke down back home, and then the way that the heat's been affecting Toby, it's been affecting me as well. I've told you before, I'm a big guy. I weigh 285 pounds. I'm built like a porta potty. God made me for 30 below zero, not for 90s and dew points in the 70s. It did give me a little bit of time to do some video editing in here though, running the air conditioner. And I realized that this video is going to be short just because we lost all of that audio from yesterday. This morning, we're going to get going home. I said a prayer last night. Hopefully the truck wants to work for us. The brakes work off of a Hydro Boost system, not a vacuum brake. So maybe if we get running down the road a mile or so, everything will turn itself around. I'm hoping that my dad will be sitting right there beside me. Make sure that we get home safe. Toby, are you ready to go? Sure, Toby's thinking, why is Dad always talking to himself? We gotta get the generator loaded up. We'll be ready to go. I am thankful this worked all weekend. It doesn't take much to start sweating out here. All right, let's give this a try. The brake fell flat on its face. I'm hoping that if I put a few miles on, it'll fix itself. Let's find out. Power steering's coming around. That's good. She does stop, but I gotta go all the way to the floor with it. This truck is 10 years old, but still controlled by a lot of electronics. And I'm hoping that when the traction control kicked in, a couple of parameters were met that made that Hydro Boost act funny, and hopefully it'll work its way out. That's what I'm telling myself anyways. Well, we got a couple of lights going on. Brake light, traction control, and StabiliTrak. Let's pray that this thing's got 5 hours in her. I made it to Napa and Baudette, and my brake fluid reservoir is completely empty. I don't know if I blew out a caliper or master's gone bad, but I can't find a leak. We're gonna fill it up with brake fluid. I think I'm gonna end the video right here though. Okay, wait a second, I got some updates. After driving 100 miles or so, going through 2 quarts of brake fluid, the leak showed itself. It's the rear caliper, and instead of jacking up the truck here in the parking lot of Napa and fixing that, I'm gonna just pinch the line off. At least we'll be able to get home. Put a stop to this leak. Perfect. The good news, brakes are working. The last 150 miles I've been downshifting to adjust my speed, and I knew that once I got to Walker I was going to be hitting a lot more stoplights, so I'm glad that worked. Well, I think that means we got this video in the bag. I'm not sure if I'll be out camping next week or if I'll be fixing the brakes. You can always push the notification bell. That way you'll get the community updates and tell you if I'm not out in the woods. I know some people get a little worried when they don't see the videos. Hit that notification bell. You'll be able to see it every time. Until next week, maybe. Be kind, be honest. We'll see you down the road.